In the kaleidoscopic world of stand-up comedy, Anthony Jeselnik emerges as a linguistic crusader, wielding his verbal lance with the precision of a rhetorical jouster to a verbally voluptuous elucidations.
Many comedians post TikToks or YouTube shorts of just their crowd work. So it's usually talking to someone who yells out of the crowd when they yell something truly insane. These videos have turned me into a fan of some comedians I otherwise would never have seen. Has Anthony considered recording his shows, posting clips of the best crowd work? He saw you in Salt Lake City. He'd also love to see more of you roasting audience members at all the shows I can't make it to. Also wants to know if you have any good crowd work stories.
Have any good crowd work stories? No, I try to be in the moment with crowd work, and I forget it immediately. Someone will be like, "Oh, it was funny what you said to that person." I don't remember. Someone says something, I say the first thing off the top of my head. And normally, if someone's heckling, I give them a little grace. You want the audience to turn on them before you do. You know, if someone says something horrible to me and I go off, unless the audience knows how horrible it was, like it won't mean anything. So if someone like keeps yelling, I let them yell a few times and then I go in. But I always forget them immediately. I'm good at it, but I do believe that these crowd work videos that are on TikTok, TikTok's become the big thing for them, Instagram as well, are a plague on comedy. I think they're a plague. I think they're ruining audiences. Because audiences, a lot of people are seeing comics through this lens of just crowd work. So you go to a show thinking that you've got to heckle, that you are helping the comic when you heckle, or you're waiting for them to do crowd work so you can yell some dumb shit, and I hate it. Also, it's a way for comics to not burn material. But I think most crowd work is lazy. It's good in the moment during a live show, but it should never be recorded or never put out there. That I get why people are doing it. I think it's all bad. I think it's all bad. And people are getting like their name out there with it. Okay, I see it. But I see a lot of young comics filming every set they do, hoping that something happens because they don't want to use this bit they have. They don't want to work on their bit. They're hoping that someone in the audience yells something, or they can say, "Who's got a question?" And I do take questions, but I would never film it and put it up there because I don't want to train my audience. I want my audience to come and listen to jokes. You either laugh or you don't, and you wait for the next one. And you laugh or you don't. I don't want someone come and be like, "Oh, I'm going to yell this. I'm going to say this. I can't wait to. I'm going to try to get on camera and do crowd work and get on his TikTok." It's the worst. I love parody videos of people who do stand-up or people who do crowd work. There was one, a very funny guy, I think he works with Nate Bargatze, who just like is like, "What do you do? A mechanic? How much do you make a year? That's a great job. How much do you make in a year before taxes? Oh, wow." And then he drinks an entire bottle of water, and he's like, "That's my time, everybody. Thank you very much." Like, you're not doing anything. You're just up there. It's so lazy. It's not stand-up. And it's bad for the art form. You'll never see me do it.
This was scathing critique of the burgeoning trend of comedians posting crowd work videos on platforms like TikTok and YouTube Shorts. In this linguistic joust, Jeselnik dons the armor of disapproval, decrying this practice as a blight upon the hallowed halls of comedic sanctity. Jeselnik begins his lament by acknowledging the double-edged sword of crowd work videos. While conceding that they have served as a gateway to discovering new comedic talents, he unveils his disdain for this trend, considering it a pernicious plague on the comedic landscape. The humor maestro contends that the very essence of stand-up comedy is imperiled by this proliferating fad. The heart of Jeselnik's criticism throbs with concern over the deleterious audience dynamic cultivated by the prevalence of crowd work videos. He argues that this trend fosters an environment where audiences attend shows not for the genuine laughter-inducing experience but with the sinister intention of heckling or eagerly anticipating their cameo in a viral crowd work video. Jeselnik sees this mindset as corrosive, undermining the delicate dance between performer and audience that defines the art of stand-up comedy. Jeselnik's rhetorical sword continues its thrust as he condemns the practice of recording and sharing crowd work videos. With the force of his conviction, he brands this act as lazy and antithetical to the very essence of stand-up comedy as a live, ephemeral art form. He extols the virtue of the unadulterated live experience, where the ephemeral nature of crowd work serves as a fleeting and intimate connection between comedian and audience, not destined for the unrelenting gaze of a digital audience. The ire in Jeselnik's linguistic arsenal is next aimed at the younger generation of comedians who, in his view, rely on crowd work videos as a shortcut to exposure. He dismisses this approach as a lazy endeavor, lamenting the abandonment of the arduous journey of crafting original material. For Jeselnik, the true essence of comedy lies in the alchemy of words and delivery, not in the pandering pursuit of viral moments through crowd work. The crescendo of Jeselnik's symphony of disapproval reaches its zenith as he articulates his aversion to participating in crowd work videos. His refusal to partake in this trend is grounded in a staunch belief that such videos are not representative of authentic stand-up comedy. He paints a vivid picture with his words, describing a parody video where a comedian asks mundane questions and promptly ends the performance, a stark illustration of what he perceives as the lack of substance and effort in these viral endeavors. One of the immediate economic impacts of the proliferation of crowd work videos is evident in the shifting dynamics of ticket sales. As audiences are drawing to shows with the expectation of participating in or witnessing crowd work, the motivations for purchasing tickets evolve. No longer solely driven by the desire for a night of laughter, some patrons may now attend with the anticipation of becoming part of the viral content. This shift may influence the calculus of ticket pricing, as the demand for shows with the promise of crowd work may lead to adjustments in the market dynamics. To revenue, the lifeblood of many comedians, is another arena where the economic ripples of crowd work videos manifest. Comedians who find success in creating viral crowd work content may witness a surge in popularity, potentially translating into increased demand for their live performances. However, this surge comes with a caveat, as it may attract audiences more interested in contributing to the crowd work spectacle than appreciating the comedian's crafted material. The delicate balance between authentic fan engagement and the lure of viral moments becomes a tightrope walk that influences the overall revenue generated from touring. Moreover, the sustainability of the stand-up comedy industry faces a conundrum, as the prevalence of crowd work videos alters audience expectations and the nature of the live experience. The economic model that traditionally relied on a symbiotic relationship between comedian and audience, where the shared joy of laughter was the primary transaction, may undergo transformation. If crowd work videos continue to drive audience behavior, the industry may witness a shift towards a more participatory and potentially disruptive model. This evolution necessitates a recalibration of business strategies to ensure the continued viability of stand-up comedy as a lucrative and sustainable artistic pursuit. On the flip side, the economic impact is not uniformly negative. For comedians who successfully leverage crowd work videos to broaden their audience reach and increase visibility, the potential for enhanced monetization opportunities arises. A larger online following can lead to more lucrative endorsement deals, podcast sponsorships, and collaboration opportunities, contributing to a diversified revenue stream beyond live performances. The economic resilience of comedians may hinge on their ability to navigate this changing landscape, adapting their business models to capitalize on both live shows and digital content. In conclusion, Anthony Jeselnik, the linguistic maestro, stands as a sentinel against the encroaching trend of crowd work videos in the realm of stand-up comedy. With his rhetorical lance raised high, he skewers the disruptive audience dynamic, critiques the recording and sharing of crowd work, and castigates young comedians who opt for the shortcut to exposure. In his final decree, Jeselnik resolutely declares his aversion to this trend, a steadfast guardian of the sanctity he perceives in the raw, unfiltered magic of live stand-up comedy.